You think they care about you. You think they really want what's best for you. No. No. They want you to stay in line. Follow the rules. Do what you're told. Be a good little puppet and let them pull your strings. But you've always felt that itch, haven't you? That need to cut the strings to see what happens when you take control for yourself. And why shouldn't you? It's your life, after all. Why should they get to decide how you live it? They tell you to smile, to be happy, to fit in. But why? So you don't rock the boat? So you don't upset their precious little system? They can't stand the idea of someone who doesn't follow the script, who asks questions, who wants more than what they're offering. Because what they're offering, and it's a joke. It's a prison dressed up in pretty words like stability and success. But you see through it, don't you? You see the bars they've built around you, even if they've painted them gold. Oh, they'll tell you that you're free, that you have choices. But do you? Really? Look at the options they've given you. Oh, they all lead to the same place. A life of quiet desperation, of playing it safe, of being exactly what they need you to be. Not who you are, but who they can control. What? And every time you've tried to step out of line, to color outside the lines, they found a way to pull you back in. But not this time, right? This time, you're done playing their game. And that's what scares them. The idea that you might actually start thinking for yourself, that you might start questioning the narrative, pulling at the threads of the story they've woven around you. Because once you start pulling, the whole thing unravels. And when that happens, well, they can't have that, can they? They need you to believe in the system, to trust in their authority. Because without that, without your compliance, their power crumbles to dust. It's all a facade, you know. The whole thing. The rules, the systems, the hierarchy. They've built it all to keep you in place, to keep you from realizing just how much power you really had. They'll tell you that you need them, that without them, you'd be lost, you'd be nothing. But that's the biggest lie of all, isn't it? You don't need them. You never did. They need you. They need your obedience, your silence, your belief in their lies, to keep their little empire running. The moment you realize that, the moment you decide to stop playing by their rules, that's when things start to get interesting. They'll try to scare you. They'll tell you that chaos is dangerous, that stepping outside of their carefully constructed world will destroy you. But chaos is freedom. Chaos is where real change happens, where the truth comes out. They fear chaos because they can't control it. But you've always thrived in it. You've always known that the only way to really live is to step into the unknown, to embrace the unpredictability of life. You see, they've spent your whole life trying to convince you that safety is the goal, that if you just follow the rules, keep your head down, everything will be fine. But what kind of life is that? Living in fear, always worrying about what might happen if you stray too far from the path they've laid out for you. That's not living. That's surviving. And you weren't born to survive. You were born to live, to feel the fire in your veins, to take risks, to make mistakes, to carve your own path. But they don't want you to think like that. No. They want you to be afraid of failure, of rejection, of anything that might make you stand out. Because once you start standing out, once you start embracing who you really are, you become a threat to their control, to their order, to everything they've worked so hard to maintain. And threats? Threats have to be dealt with. But what they don't understand is that you can't be dealt with. Not anymore. They've tried to break you before, haven't they? They've tried to make you doubt yourself, to make you feel like you're not enough, like you'll never be enough. But here's the thing. They've only made you stronger. Every time they've tried to push you down, you've risen back up. Every time they've told you no, you've found a way to make it a yes. You're not afraid of them anymore. You're not afraid of their rules, their limits, their lies. Because you've seen the truth. You've seen what happens when you stop caring about their approval, when you stop seeking their validation. You become unstoppable. And that's what they fear most. They fear the day when people like you realize that the only real power is the power you give yourself. The power to say no, to walk away, to forge your own path. And once you do that, once you fully embrace your own power, there's nothing they can do to stop you. They'll try, of course. They'll throw everything they have at you. Fear, doubt, guilt. They'll make you question your own sanity. Make you wonder if maybe, just maybe, they were right all along. But you know better. You've tasted freedom. You've felt the thrill of stepping outside the lines, of breaking the rules, of living for yourself. And once you've felt that, once you've experienced that kind of liberation, there's no going back. But here's the kicker. They need you more than you need them. Their entire system is built on your compliance, on your willingness to play along. Without you, without people like you, their power means nothing. And they know that. That's why they work so hard to keep you in line, to make you feel like you're nothing without them. But the truth is that they're nothing without you. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep playing their game, keep living by their rules? Or are you going to take the plunge? Are you going to embrace the chaos, the uncertainty, the freedom that comes with living life on your own terms? Because that's the choice you're facing. It's not about right or wrong, good or bad. It's about power. Their power versus yours. And the moment you decide to take your power back, the moment you stop giving a damn about their rules, that's the moment you win. But winning isn't what they've taught you. It's not about success or money or any of the other shiny things they dangle in front of you. No, winning is about freedom, real freedom. You know, the kind of freedom that can't be taken away, that can't be controlled. The kind of freedom that comes from knowing who you are, from embracing your own power, from living life on your own terms. That's what they're afraid of. That's what they can't stand. Because once you have that kind of freedom, you're unstoppable. You're untouchable. You become a force of nature, a storm that they can't contain, can't control. And that terrifies them. That terrifies them. Because their whole system is built on control, on keeping people like you in check. But once you realize that the only person who can control you is you, once you embrace the chaos, the uncertainty, the raw power of living life on your own terms, they've already lost. They'll try to tell you that chaos is dangerous, that stepping outside their system will destroy you. But what they don't realize is that chaos is where you thrive. It's where you find your strength, your courage, your true self. They've spent your whole life trying to make you afraid of the unknown, of the dark, of everything that exists outside their carefully controlled little world. But you're not afraid anymore, are you? You're ready. Ready to step into the unknown, to embrace the chaos, to become the person you were always meant to be. And when you do, when you finally break free of their control, of their lies, of their limitations, you'll realize that the only thing that was ever holding you back was your own fear. And now that the fear is gone, now that you've seen the truth, there's nothing left to stop you. So go ahead, take the leap. Step into the unknown. Youre. Party world. Devours. Embrace the chaos. Well, because that's where you'll find your true self, your true power. And once you've found that, there's no going back. There's no more playing by their rules, no more living in their world. You'll be free. And they'll be powerless. Because the only power they ever had was the power you gave them. And now that you're taking it back, they've got nothing left. But don't expect them to go quietly. Oh no. They'll fight tooth and nail to keep you in line, to keep you under their thumb. They'll throw everything they have at you. Fear, guilt, manipulation. They'll try to make you believe that you need them, that you can't survive without them. But you know better, don't you? You know that the only thing you need is your own strength, your own courage, your own power. And you've got that in spades. You've always had it. You've just been too afraid to use it. But not anymore. Now, you're ready. Ready to stand up, to break free, to take control of your own life. And once you've done that, there's nothing they can do to stop you. Because you're not just a part of their system anymore. You're beyond it. You're something they can't control, can't manipulate, can't touch. So let them try. Let them throw their lies at you, their fear, their guilt. Let them try to pull you back into their world. It won't work. Because you've seen the truth. You've felt the freedom that comes from living life on your own terms, from embracing the chaos, the uncertainty, the raw, untamed power that comes from being fully, unapologetically yourself. And once you've felt that, there's no going back, no more rules. No more living life for anyone but yourself. You're free now. Truly free. Surely free. And that's something they'll never be able to take away from you. Because it's yours. It always has been. All you had to do was reach out and take it. So take it. Embrace it. Live it. Because this is what you were born for. And to break the rules, to shatter the illusions, to live life on your own terms. And once you've done that, well, there's no stopping you now. So you're still here, still thinking, still questioning. I like that. It means you haven't given up, that you're still willing to push, to fight, to go further than they ever expected you to. Most people, they stop at the first hurdle. They see the wall, and they turn back, thinking it's the end. But you, what? You're different. You see the wall and start thinking about how to climb it, how to break through it, how to turn it into dust. That's the difference between them and you. But don't think for a second they won't notice. They always notice. I'm still at Timmy. She up. The moment you stop playing their game, the moment you stop doing exactly what they want, they'll turn on you. They'll call you names, say you've lost your way, that you're out of control. But isn't that the point? To be out of their control. To live your life without their chains wrapped around you. They can't stand that. It terrifies them because it means you're not a cog in their machine anymore. You're something else entirely. They'll try to bring you back, of course. They'll use guilt. They'll use fear. They'll use every dirty little trick they have. Because that's all they have, tricks. They've never had real power. Real power doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from controlling yourself. And that's what they can't stand. They can't stand that you're learning to control yourself, to find your own path, to stop depending on their approval, their permission. Once you stop caring about their rules, that's when the game really changes. And here's the thing. You've known all along that their rules didn't make sense, that the system was rigged from the start. You could feel it in your bones. Every time you tried to fit in, tried to play by their rules, it felt wrong, didn't it? Like you were betraying a part of yourself. Like you were becoming something you were never meant to be. And you were. They were trying to shape you into something small, something manageable. But you were never meant to be small. You were never meant to be controlled. They fear people like you because people like you don't need them. You don't need their systems, their structures, their hollow promises of safety and success. You don't need to follow the paths they've laid out for you because you can create your own path. You don't need to live by their definition of success because you've defined success for yourself. And that's something they can't tolerate. Because if too many people start thinking like you, the whole system falls apart. That's why they work so hard to keep you distracted, to keep you focused on things that don't matter. Things that keep you spinning your wheels but never getting anywhere. They want you to spend your whole life chasing after things that won't make you happy, that won't make you free. Because as long as you're chasing, you're not thinking, you're not questioning, you're not waking up to the fact that the game is rigged and always has been. But you're awake now, aren't you? You see the truth. You see that the life they've been trying to sell you is a lie, a trap designed to keep you in line, to keep you small, to keep you from realizing just how powerful you really are. And once you see that, there's no going back. Once you know the truth, you can't unknow it. You can't go back to sleep, no matter how much they try to lure you back into their dream. And that scares them more than anything. They need you to be asleep. They need you to believe in their lies, in their systems, in their authority. Come on. Because if you don't, if you start thinking for yourself, if you start making your own decisions, their power disappears. It vanishes like smoke. And that's the secret they don't want you to know. That their power only exists because you give it to them. Take it back, and they have nothing. But don't expect them to admit it. No. I'm showing. They'll never admit that their entire system is built on lies, on manipulation, on control. They've invested too much in the illusion to let it fall apart that easily. They've spent too much time, too much money, too much effort convincing people that they need the system, that they need the rules, that they need to stay in line. And people, most of them, believe it. And they want to believe it because it's easier than facing the truth. The truth is hard. And the truth is messy. The truth is chaos. And most people, they're terrified of chaos. They want order. They want certainty. They want someone to tell them what to do, what to think, how to live. But not you. You've never been satisfied with easy answers, with simple explanations. You've always wanted more, always needed to dig deeper, to find the real truth hiding beneath the surface. And that makes you dangerous. Oh, they won't say it out loud, but they know. They know that someone like you can't be controlled, can't be manipulated, can't be silenced. Not forever. They'll try, of course. They'll try to make you feel like you're the problem, like you're the one who's lost, who's wrong, who's going against the natural order of things. But the natural order, that's just another lie. There is no natural order, no set of rules that you have to follow. The only rules are the ones you create for yourself. And once you realize that, you become unstoppable. You become a force of nature, a storm they can't contain. You start living for yourself, not for them, not for their approval, not for their rewards. You start making your own choices, creating your own path, and that's when everything changes. That's when you start living, really living, not just surviving, not just going through the motions. And that's what they can't stand. Number what? Because once you start living like that, once you start living for yourself, you become a threat. A threat to their control, to their order, to their carefully constructed world. They need you to stay small, to stay quiet, to stay in line. But you, you're done with that. You're done with living according to their rules, done with playing their game. You've decided to create your own game, your own rules, your own life. And once you've made that decision, there's no stopping you. They'll try, of course. They'll throw everything they have at you. They'll try to scare you, to make you doubt yourself, to make you feel like you're making a mistake. But you know better. You've seen the truth. And once you've seen it, there's no going back. You know that the only real mistake is living your life for someone else, giving your power away, letting someone else dictate your choices, your future, your destiny. But you're not going to do that, are you? No. You're going to take your power back. You're going to live life on your own terms, follow your own path, create your own future. And that is how show. And that's the scariest thing in the world to them. Because if you can do it, if you can break free from their control, then others can too. And if enough people do that, the whole system comes crashing down. That's what they're really afraid of. Not you, not your choices, but the idea that you might inspire others to make the same choices, to take the same risks, to break free from the same chains. Because once enough people do that, there's no system left to control. There's no more power, no more authority, no more rules, just freedom. And freedom, real freedom, that's the one thing they can't control. So go ahead. Now what spilled. made himself certain. Warriors, take the leap, break free. I'm so well. Arms, our mind. Live your life on your own terms. Because once you've done that, once you've tasted real freedom, there's no going back. There's no more fear, no more doubt, no more living for anyone but yourself. You become unstoppable, untouchable, free. And that's what they fear most of all. But don't think for a second that they'll give up. No. They'll keep trying. They'll keep throwing their lies, their fear, their manipulation at you, hoping that something sticks. They'll try to pull you back into their world, their system, their rules. But you know better now. You know the truth. You've seen behind the curtain, and there's no one seeing it. There's no going back to the way things were. You've changed. And once you've changed, they can't control you anymore. That's the real power you have. The power to change, to evolve, to grow beyond their control, beyond their systems, beyond their lies. The power to create your own reality, your own future, your own life. And once you've embraced that power, there's nothing they can do to stop you. Because you're not playing their game anymore. You've created your own, and in your game, you make the rules. And here's the thing. You're not alone. There are others like you. Others who have woken up, who have seen the truth, who have broken free from the system. And together, you're unstoppable. Together, you're a force that they can't control, can't contain, can't silence. Because once enough people wake up, once enough people start living for themselves, the whole system falls apart. Their power disappears, their control vanishes, and what's left? Freedom. So keep going. Keep pushing, keep questioning, keep breaking the rules. Because that's what you were born to do. You were born to challenge, to question, to push the boundaries of what's possible. And once you've done that, there's no stopping you. There's no going back. You're free now, truly free. And that's something they'll never be able to take away from you.